If you get me talking about Libby Gill, we're going to be here all day.
After what Daily Variety would call a brief stint as an actress, I decided it was time to go behind the camera, behind the scenes, and work on the corporate side of entertainment, which turned out to be a much better fit for me, and where my leadership skills, my ability to command a room, to lead with vision, to articulate a mission to others, to combine the strategy with the execution, which to me is the art of leadership. Those were skills that found a much better place in that world. So that's what I want to talk about today. Some of the skills that you were hearing before about the strategy, the way that you can create a culture of leadership, because honestly, it's no longer with the kind of things your industry and the country, in fact, the world has gone through. It's not enough anymore to just bring out the leadership in yourself. If you are not creating leaders at all levels of your organization, you're just not fulfilling the obligation of the role. It's not what's in the job description, it's what's not in the description that defines you as a leader. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some strategies so that you can create that culture of bold leadership around you. First, by developing your own leadership DNA, who you are, sort of the who of leadership. Secondly, by a process, the how of leadership. And this is a process that I teach, I've taught across the country, in clarifying, simplifying, and executing a bold vision for success, however you define that success. And then finally, pursuing a radical sense of purpose, of having a real definition for what matters to you, to your constituents, to your customers, your clients, your consumers, but also within your community, your organization, even your own family. So those are the areas I want to touch on today. And first, there's an old saying, you may have heard this before, if you're a leader, if you're leading and no one's following, maybe you're just taking a walk. So what you don't want to be is one of those leaders who looks around and discovers there's nobody back there. Right when you begin to contemplate change, isn't that when the universe just throws that curveball right at you? And for me, that was an offer of a promotion within another part of the company, working for a big media mogul named Barry Diller. And I got offered this job, big stress, but it seemed like a really good opportunity. And as we were talking about it, all the wheels were in motion. And so I had my corporate headshot taken, which is what they do in Hollywood, your mugshot. They give to the trade papers, which in my case were Daily Variety and The Hollywood Reporter. And I just kind of went along with the program thinking, well, everybody seems to think this is a good idea, so maybe it is, so we'll kind of go with it. And I got that photo taken. I didn't really think that much about it. And a few days later, I went back into my office. I had a lovely corner office, and I was sort of feeling guilty that I was beginning to think of it as my little prison. But I went into my office, and there was this envelope on my desk, and it was from the photographer. And I thought, normally that would have gone to the photo department, but, it was there on my desk, didn't think anything of it, opened the envelope and saw that there was a photo sleeve inside, come back from the photographer before, somebody approves it and it goes on to the retoucher. But I just opened it up, pulled that photo out of the sleeve, and saw an 8x10 black and white proof of my face with every flaw circled in red grease pencil. And not only that, big lines with arrows over into the margins about how to fix everything, how to brush out the worry lines around my mouth, and how to get rid of the circles, and whiten the red eyes, brighten the dull teeth, fix the gray hair. Now, he didn't say anything about the extra 30 pounds I was carrying at that time, but I would have been very happy for him to brush those out. And I sat there and I looked at this picture in shock, trying not to cry, and thinking, I am not fooling anyone except me. And I just don't want to be this frumpy, stressed out, miserable woman for another 20 years, or even 10 years, or even the next week.